We're both going to hell. I'm still living.
But at least we're going together.
Right,
Together.
so I'll know you.
So
I'll
we
say,
can
hey.
explore that in the pilot.
As the series progressed, the stakes grew higher. What had begun as a simple family sitcom evolved into a balancing act between nostalgia and reinvention. Each character had become more than a role. They were symbols of stability, humor, and relatability. Audiences invested emotionally, treating fictional moments as milestones. Writers and producers were acutely aware that even minor missteps could trigger fan backlash. Viral debates and media speculation, every joke, every subplot, every season finale carried weight far beyond what the cameras captured. The cast felt it too. Behind the laughter and camaraderie, tension mounted, long hours, creative disagreements, and contractual pressures created cracks in relationships. Some actors left voluntarily, pursuing other opportunities. Others were nudged out as networks sought fresh faces or new storylines to revitalize declining ratings. Replacements arrived, often talented, yet unable to replicate the chemistry audiences had grown attached to. Each departure sparked questions among fans, fueling speculation and rumor. Was it personal animosity, professional frustration, or simply the inevitable collision of career ambition and network strategy? Meanwhile, executives faced impossible decisions. How do you honor a show's legacy while keeping it relevant? How do you balance budgets with star salaries? How do you preserve authenticity when every change is scrutinized online and in tabloids? Every choice risked alienating loyal viewers. Every gamble could determine whether Family Matters would endure or fade into rerun. Obscurity, yet despite the turmoil, the show's cultural significance persisted, its characters, catchphrases, and family-centered lessons continued to resonate across generations. Even as storylines shifted and the cast evolved, the Winslows remained emblematic of humor, resilience, and familial love. And behind every production meeting, contract negotiation, and storyline debate was a story of ambition, compromise, and the high stakes of maintaining a television legacy. A story fans would only fully appreciate years later. Wyatt's journey with Urkel was as much about personal growth as it was about the character's evolution. Behind the scenes, he immersed himself in every detail: dialogue, mannerisms, timing, and even wardrobe. He studied how audiences reacted to subtle changes, learning which quirks drew laughter versus which moments connected emotionally. This attentiveness transformed Urkel from a one-note stereotype into a multidimensional presence, someone audiences could root for, relate to, and ultimately love. But creative input brought challenges. Wyatt often found himself navigating the fine line between collaboration and conflict. Producers had schedules, ratings, and network mandates to consider. Wyatt had passion, vision, and instinct. On more than one occasion, disagreements over storylines or screen time sparked tension in writers' rooms and production meetings, yet each confrontation demanded negotiation, diplomacy, and sometimes compromise. Wyatt's willingness to fight for his vision, balanced with the respect for the team, helped maintain both harmony and innovation. Audiences, of course, were unaware of the intricate dance behind the camera. All they saw was Urkel growing alongside them, the awkward teenager stumbling through school, family gatherings, and teen crushes, gradually maturing into moments of vulnerability, courage, and empathy. These layers elevated the show from pure sitcom comedy to storytelling with heart. Moreover, Wyatt's influence extended beyond Urkel. His ideas inspired shifts in other characters, creating richer ensemble interactions and narrative depth. Writers experimented with themes of acceptance, perseverance, and growth because the audience was invested in his character's evolution. Ultimately, Wyatt's commitment ensured that Urkel was more than a comedic archetype. He became the emotional heartbeat of Family Matters, proving that even in a show dominated by nostalgia and laughter, thoughtful creative input could transform a supporting role into a cultural icon. Without his vision and persistence, both the character and the series might have remained memorable, but not legendary. The disappearance of Judy Winslow was emblematic of the challenges faced by long-running series. Writers and producers had to balance narrative continuity with evolving story needs, all while managing cast dynamics and budget constraints. In Judy's case, the decision to write her out was influenced by a combination of limited storylines, shifting focus on more prominent characters, and logistical considerations. Yet for viewers, the absence felt abrupt and jarring. The lack of an explanation left a vacuum, one quickly filled by speculation, rumors, and lingering disappointment. This moment became a talking point among fans for decades, a symbol of how behind-the-scenes decisions could ripple into public consciousness. Recasting, in particular, demanded precision. New actors had to embody the spirit of a character, while integrating seamlessly into established dynamics. Audiences are highly attuned to nuance. A slight mismatch in delivery, timing, or chemistry could break immersion, provoke criticism. Producers had to consider age appropriateness, energy levels, and the actor's ability to adapt to ensemble storytelling. Every audition, every callback, every test scene was an exercise in mitigating risk while aiming for renewal. At the same time, new characters offered opportunities to refresh the narrative, whether neighbors, relatives, or temporary love interests. They introduced plotlines that kept stories from stagnating. Writers worked to ensure interactions felt organic, that new relationships enhanced rather than overshadowed existing ones. Strategic timing, when to introduce a character, how long they stayed, and how they exited, was critical to maintaining audience trust. Ultimately, these casting decisions highlighted the intricate art of long-form television. The series' longevity depended not just on memorable jokes or compelling storylines, but on meticulous management of continuity, character development, and audience perception. For fans, some choices were celebrated, others resented, yet all became part of Family Matters' complex legacy. The dynamics behind the camera were as intricate as the plots on screen. Writers' rooms became battlegrounds of ideas where humor, social commentary, and character arcs collided. Some writers pushed to explore meaningful topics, issues of race, adolescence, or family challenges, while others prioritized entertainment and consistency. Producers acted as the gatekeepers, weighing which risks were acceptable against network expectations and audience retention. Every pitch, rewrite, and debate carried high stakes. A single misstep could alienate viewers or spark criticism in media coverage. Network executives, meanwhile, monitored ratings obsessively. The emergence of Urkel as a breakout character, while a ratings boon, shifted creative focus and ignited internal disagreements. Should the series lean into the Urkel-centric humor that drew viewers or maintain ensemble balance to preserve the Winslow family as the emotional core? Decisions about screen time, subplot prominence, and dialogue often resulted from negotiation, compromise, or outright confrontation. The challenge was not just storytelling, but satisfying a delicate ecosystem of actors, writers, producers, and executives. Budgetary pressures intensified the tension. As core cast salaries increased, resources for new sets, special episodes, or guest stars were squeezed. Creative solutions were necessary, reusing locations, simplifying scenes, or adjusting wardrobe budgets. Financial strategy became intertwined with narrative strategy, and behind every seemingly simple episode lay layers of economic calculation. Through it all, the team maintained the show's warmth and humor. Episodes aired with a polished final, the product masking countless compromises and conflicts, yet the audience, even unconsciously, sensed the shifts, why a subplot ended abruptly, why a character disappeared, or why certain themes were highlighted over others. Each choice reflected a complex interplay of artistry, logistics, and negotiation. For those inside the system, Family Matters was more than a sitcom. It was a continuous balancing act, with the legacy of a beloved series riding on every decision. Investment in Family Matters went far beyond casual viewership. For many, the Winslows were an extension of home, a source of comfort and relatability. Any deviation from the established formula felt personal. Judy Winslow's disappearance, for example, became a lightning rod for discussion and speculation. Viewers filled forums, fan clubs, and later online platforms with theories, grievances, and amends. The network had to confront the reality that emotional attachment often outweighed ratings. At least in shaping perception, recasts were particularly volatile. Even talented actors stepping into familiar roles faced uphill battles to earn acceptance. Audiences compared nuances, tone of voice, facial expressions, comedic timing against beloved predecessors. A mismatch could overshadow storytelling and dominate fan discourse. Conversely, a well-executed recast or storyline innovation could reignite enthusiasm, demonstrating how sensitive audience loyalty truly was. Urkel's evolution illustrates this tension vividly. Originally comic relief, his character grew to explore more serious storylines, reflecting the actor's input and the series' ambition to expand its thematic depth. Some fans embraced the development, recognizing maturity and complexity. Others resisted, longing for the Urkel annex that defined early seasons. Every creative choice became a negotiation, not only with writers and producers, but with the collective audience consciousness. Networks and producers increasingly relied on fan feedback as a strategic tool. Social media, letters, and petitions became informal barometers of approval or discontent. Adjustments were made carefully, balancing innovation against nostalgia. It was a delicate choreography, introducing fresh stories without alienating long-term supporters, evolving characters without erasing what made them iconic, and navigating audience expectations without compromising creative vision. Ultimately, the passionate reactions of fans became an invisible co-producer of sorts. Their voices shaped decisions, influenced narratives, and tested the resilience of both cast and crew. For Family Matters, the show's success was inseparable from the loyalty and scrutiny of the very audience. That made it a cultural touchstone. Financial pressures were a constant undercurrent throughout the show's run. As the series gained popularity, core cast salaries rose sharply, reflecting their growing star power and the value they brought to the network. Guest appearances, special effects, and location shoots added further layers of expense. Every episode became a negotiation between ambition and affordability. Producers were forced to weigh whether a plotline's impact justified the cost of additional sets, props, or extended shooting schedules, yet these constraints often spurred ingenuity rather than compromise. Writers and directors learned to craft humor and drama within practical limits, creating episodes that felt seamless and engaging despite budgetary restrictions. Multi-camera setups were optimized, sets were reused creatively, and scripts were adjusted on the fly to accommodate fewer locations or resources. Even seemingly small decisions like blocking a scene in one corner of a set instead of building a new environment carried significant consequences for both the story and the bottom line. The tension between creative vision and financial reality extended beyond logistics. Negotiations over paychecks, overtime, and production schedules sometimes sparked friction among cast and crew. Yet these challenges fostered collaboration, problem-solving, and resilience. Every compromise involved a careful calculation, how to maintain quality, preserve character integrity, and deliver episodes that satisfied both audiences and executives. For viewers, the result was effortless, humor landed, emotional beats resonated, and the Winslow family felt authentic. Behind the camera, the series team navigated an intricate web of budgets, timelines, and creative ambitions. These struggles, often invisible to the public, shaped Family Matters into a show capable of sustaining humor, heart, and relevance. Over a decade-long run, the resilience, adaptability, and dedication of the team became as much a part of the series' legacy as the Winslow family themselves. Departures from Family Matters often mark turning points for both the series and the actors themselves. For performers, leaving meant stepping out of a beloved, highly visible role into the uncertain world of new opportunities. Yalil White, whose portrayal of Steve Urkel became iconic, leveraged his fame to pursue film roles, voice acting, and other television projects. Each venture required him to redefine his identity beyond the character that had made him famous, a challenge both creatively and personally. Similarly, Kelly Shane Williams expanded her repertoire with roles in theater, independent films, and guest appearances on television, demonstrating versatility that transcended her early sitcom beginnings. These career moves carried inherent risk. Stepping away from a stable show meant sacrificing guaranteed visibility and steady income. Audiences often associated actors so strongly with their Winslow family roles that public expectations could limit the types of opportunities considered acceptable or marketable. Success beyond the series required not just talent, but strategic planning, timing, and sometimes reinvention. The departures also had a profound effect on the show's narrative. Writers had to reimagine plot lines, redistribute story arcs, and introduce new characters to fill gaps. Some absences were addressed subtly, leaving questions unanswered. Others were explained through major story developments. Every adjustment required careful consideration to maintain continuity while keeping the audience engaged. In many cases, fan reactions ranged from frustration to acceptance, highlighting how deeply viewers connected to specific characters. Ultimately, these shifts underscored the dual nature of long-running television. It's both a platform for storytelling and a launchpad for careers. While fans mourned farewells, the actors' professional growth became part of Family Matters' enduring legacy. The series didn't just entertain, it cultivated talent capable of thriving in diverse creative arenas, proving that a beloved sitcom could simultaneously shape characters and careers. Even years after the final episode aired, Family Matters lingered in popular consciousness. Reruns introduced new generations to the Winslow family, while original fans continued to debate favorite episodes, plotlines, and characters online. The emotional attachment proved enduring. Social media became a platform for collective memory, nostalgia, and persistent advocacy. Hashtags, online petitions, and dedicated fan pages amplified a single message: the Winslows belong back on screen. Networks and producers could no longer ignore the demand. Audience loyalty, measured through engagement and consistent viewership of reruns, became tangible proof of enduring interest. Yet the decision to revive the show was far from simple. Executives had to assess production budgets, secure contracts with original cast members, and determine whether the writing could honor the original tone, while appealing to contemporary audiences. Every detail from set design to character arcs was scrutinized to balance authenticity with relevance. Casting posed another challenge. Some original actors were unavailable or had moved on professionally, requiring careful consideration for recast or adjustments to storylines. Fans, protective of the original family dynamic, had high expectations. Creators knew that missteps could lead not only to financial losses, but to a backlash that might tarnish the series' legacy. When the revival finally premiered, it carried a weight far greater than its runtime. Each episode was evaluated against memories of the original, with critics and viewers alike noting how well the revival captured the humor, warmth, and familial lessons and had made the Winslows iconic. Ratings were strong, but the true triumph was cultural. The revival demonstrated how fan dedication can shape entertainment history, influence creative decisions, and breathe new life into a series once thought concluded. Family Matters' return wasn't just about nostalgia, it was proof that storytelling, connection, and loyalty transcend decades, solidifying the Winslows' place in television lore. Reviving Family Matters required a delicate balance between honoring the original series and appealing to contemporary audiences. The production team faced the immediate logistical challenge of rebuilding or recreating sets that had been dismantled years earlier. Familiar locations, the Winslow living room, the kitchen, and even the iconic Urkel corner had to be reconstructed to evoke nostalgia while meeting modern film standards. Props, furniture, and decor were carefully chosen to resonate with longtime fans without appearing outdated. Scripts presented another layer of complexity. Writers needed to respect the original storylines and character dynamics while introducing themes relevant to a modern audience. Story arcs had to reflect changes in society, technology, and cultural expectations, but without alienating fans who cherish the Winslow family's classic charm. Dialogue, jokes, and even character interactions were re-examined to ensure continuity and authenticity, making the writing process both highly collaborative and intensely scrutinized. Scheduling added further obstacles. The original cast members had pursued other careers, and coordinating availability required flexibility and careful planning. Some actors could only commit to limited scenes, necessitating creative adjustments to maintain narrative coherence. New cast additions were integrated thoughtfully to enhance storylines, while respecting established relationships and dynamics. Pandemic-related restrictions introduced unprecedented challenges. Safety protocols limited the number of people on set, altered blocking and choreography, and impacted guest appearances. Scenes had to be rewritten to accommodate physical distancing and filming adjustments, often requiring additional rehearsal time. Yet, despite these constraints, the production team remained committed to delivering a seamless viewing experience. Ultimately, the revival succeeded because of meticulous planning, adaptability, and a deep respect for the original series. Humor, warmth, and the essence of the Winslow family remain intact, proving that even amid logistical hurdles, modernized storytelling, fan expectations, and nostalgia could coexist. The return of Family Matters became a testament to perseverance, creativity, and the enduring power of a beloved series. The enduring appeal of Family Matters lies not only in its humor or memorable catchphrases, but in its ability to capture the essence of family life in a way that felt authentic and relatable. Viewers didn't just watch the Winslows, they saw themselves in their struggles, triumphs, and everyday moments. Generations grew up alongside the family, learning lessons about loyalty, love, perseverance, and forgiveness, often wrapped in laughter. This emotional connection created a bond between audience and series that transcended ratings and network decisions, ensuring its relevance long after the original run ended. Behind the scenes, the production team faced challenges that could have derailed lesser shows. Writers navigated complex character arcs while honoring continuity. Producers balanced creative ambitions against financial realities, and cast members negotiated careers and screen time, all under the scrutiny of a devoted fan base. Each episode was the product of careful coordination, negotiation, and at times compromise. Even seemingly minor decisions like the unexplained disappearance of Judy Winslow or the prominence of Steve Urkel required careful consideration to preserve narrative coherence and audience engagement. The revival of the series underscored the enduring influence of fan loyalty and the cultural power of nostalgia, despite logistical hurdles, pandemic restrictions, and evolving audience expectations. The creative team successfully reintroduced the Winslows to a new generation while honoring the original tone. It demonstrated that a show could adapt without losing its core identity, balancing humor, art, and social relevance. Ultimately, Family Matters serves as both a blueprint and a reminder for creators. Storytelling is more than entertainment. Its connection, its history teaches that innovation must coexist with tradition, that audience investment matters, and that resilience behind the camera can shape the cultural impact in front of it. Decades later, the Winslows remain iconic, not merely as characters, but as a symbol of creativity, perseverance, and the timeless power of family.